X-Nay on El Bottle A. All right, you guys good?
Let's start our barbershop quartet.
Yes. What is happening, people? It is Brian Alsruhe with NeverState.com, and I am here with some of my amigos to do a recovery roundtable. Now, I do not do as much recovery as I should, but there are some people standing at this tire that absolutely do, so we're going to get some of their opinions on some things that work for them and don't work. Now, guys, I know there are a lot of videos out there that are all scientifically based with statistics and everything else. That's not what this is going to be, okay? This is literally, we have Joey Szatmary, who is the 2019 Strongman World National Champion. We have Billy, Business Billy, who is a predominant strongman competitor. We have Nick here, who just finished third, right, at Nationals, former national champion, kills every single contest. I've lifted a couple of heavy things. So this is going to be guys talking about, yeah, I know that science says that, but this is what has worked for me. Now, most of the time, science backs everything up, and I'm not saying that, but I am saying there's going to be some things that might be conflicting to some things you guys read, but it's worked for me or it's worked for Nick or whoever. So we're going to get into a little bit of that. So, guys, starting off, how many times a week do you guys train, Joe?
I train 4 to 5 times average per week.
I'm down to 3 times a week.
4 every single week.
I'm doing 4 training, and then I'm trying to get 3 jiu-jitsu. Are you also doing jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I do about 3 jiu-jitsu a week, and then I've been doing trail running once or twice a week.
Yeah, because you were getting ready to do a Spartan race,
Yep.
and you just did a Spartan race.
You're gonna love it, dude.
Nick just did a Spartan race with a Miles backpack. That you guys should check out our channel. Make sure you check out his channel. Also, make sure you subscribe to Joey's channel. These are all good guys, right? So make sure you support them. So guys, you all train a decent amount, and all of these guys lift heavy weights. They're not guys who go in and just kind of go through the motions. They train hard. They're wringing sweat out of their shirts. They're absolutely killing it every single day. So as far as recovery goes, how much time would you say you spend on it per day, per week, Nick?
Per day, per week. So my training days obviously spend a little bit more time on my recovery. Now, weekly, my guaranteed is cryotherapy. I normally do that in the middle of the week, every single week. Whether I'm prepping for something or not, I'm still doing cryotherapy because it helps. I do 3 weeks on, 1 week off, so I don't build a tolerance, so I still feel the effects of it. And then when I'm in prep every other week, I'm going to get a massage from the same place I do cryotherapy.
Massage.
Yeah, a massage. And I see a lot of benefits from that as far as my tightness and flexibility, because there's a lot of times where I just can't keep up trying to put pressure on myself that I can with certain tools. But I'm rolling out, I'm stretching. I like to go on walks on my off days. So the road I live on is really hilly, so it allows me to really kind of get a little bit of a workout in, especially with weight management and stuff like that. But walks is probably a big portion of my recovery. I feel I get a lot of recovery through movement.
Sure.
And then obviously rolling out, I'll turn on like a podcast or something and roll out and do some stuff with some of the tools I have at home. I love the buffer here. That's like, if I have a brutal leg day, I try to make it a point after that to hit that buffer just to help reduce some of the soreness at the very least the next day.
What about you, Bill?
So I try to get a minimum, time permitting, an hour a night.
Yeah.
So including active recovery. So actually, between my workout days that I can get it, I might do 10, 20 minutes to something I would call active recovery. So either going for a walk, I'll hit the punching bag, or do body weight squats. For 10 minutes, I'll set a time every minute. Odd minutes, bag, even minutes, squats or lunges kind of thing, just to get the blood flowing, because I think that's probably the most important thing when it comes to recovery.
That's something fairly new for you, right? You've kind of just had it.
Oh yeah. When and actually that's something like I kind of want to keep touching on. Is like everyone seems to be into jiu-jitsu right now, but like hitting the bag, something I can do solo. I have one set up in my basement that even if I can't get to the gym, I get in there and just get myself moving, and maybe a little cathartic at times, so that's nice. But mostly, and I think this is actually going to be a trend with us, is that because we all kind of talk and communicate, like we're going to have very similar things. I roll out a lot. I prefer to listen to chill hop music or something a little more low key, kind of relaxing, and then I just lay on my living room floor and I'll use different variations of PVC pipe or diameter PVC pipe, or just move from a tennis ball to something harder like a lacrosse ball, and trying to work out some certain knots. But that's most of my recovery right there. It's rolling out and then the active recovery aspect again, like you had said, walking, just getting the body moving, in with new fluid, in with the new, out with the bad kind of thing. So, yep. Joe?
I would say anytime I'm not training, I'm trying to recover. Like, just, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
just
for sure.
like keep it simple. But I don't have like a specific time frame for myself. But I've been really, really into just jiu-jitsu and kind of doing a lot more like flow rolling, which if you're in jiu-jitsu is not like hardcore open mat. It's more just like feeling out different positions.
It's like sparring.
Yeah, it's kind of
slow
like
sparring.
exactly getting a light sweat going. Believe it or not, like the hiking has just been like you were saying, just kind of meditative, and I really enjoy that. And Brian goes on walks, so it's kind of like my active recovery outside of the gym. Yeah, probably before sessions, I like to just roll out the foam roller, you know, for a little while, and kind of helps get my mindset right. You know, just warming up the body and getting ready to get after it. But I wish it was more exciting. I think that's why we're talking about this. Yeah, probably a lot of people need to do it more, I guess, right?
I feel like there's a lot of people who should do more recovery that don't. And there's a lot of people who are doing a lot of recovery that don't need to do that recovery. Like the people who are like spending 20 minutes on a foam roller before they get in a squat. If you had to choose like the top 2 things that you do currently right now for recovery, if you just had to cut everything else out, what would they be, Billy?
Oh, Johnny on the spot. Okay.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong, Joey.
There you go.
No, you go ahead, man. Because I was trying to think. Like, I can't think of just 2 things. Like, I think it really depends on the individual.
What do you spend the most time on, you personally?
Recovery. I do a lot of the rolling out because it's convenient.
On a crossbar or a foam roller?
All the same to me. All the same. At that point, we're talking about surface area versus weight.
Just a recovery, just
Look,
put it out there for everybody.
Yeah, for real, man. Because look, it really is just a matter of convenience. It's kind of like you hear smarter people than me say like the best diet you can have is the one you can stick to.
The one
Same thing with your workout program. Same thing with recovery. Like some days, I wish I could spend 2-3 hours working a knot out of my quad.
Sure.
I got 3 in my right and right now that I cannot get out. I actually may have to go to dry needling because I love that, but it's expensive.
Sure.
So I do foam rolling because it's also a part of my just unwind routine at the end of the night.
Sure.
Before I go to bed, I spend an hour or so and I listen to music and I kind of just
Meditate, breathe,
exactly.
focus on your goals,
Exactly.
thankfulness, those types of things.
Yeah.
I think I kind of an outside the box answer in terms, and this has been a big difference. What I would say, like from years ago to now, is just getting better at auto-regulating my programming instead of going just so hard all the time that my body is just mangled. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So like having, like, you know, you can do it with percents, RP, whatever you want, but just regulating somehow that you have light, medium,
Yes.
heavy in your training.
Yes.
I think has made a difference where it's like I'm not walking out of my room like a cripple every day. You think like, oh, I just have to kill myself every training session.
Like I'm a baby if I'm not in the 90 percentile.
Yeah,
Like
exactly, yeah.
And I think that's a huge part about the maturity of weightlifting now. That all kind of ties into the experience. If I may, like, what was the other thing? It's the, I think when you're a beginner lifter, the gains come so much quicker, right? You have the, there's so many other things apart from like the actual muscle recruitment that, you know,
learning movement patterns.
And so you don't feel the need to recover as much. And then as you start to get to the heavier and heavier weights, you don't get to lift nearly as much. You shouldn't lift nearly as much. And recovery becomes a greater emphasis. And Olu, I think, will have a really good opinion on that because he works out less, recovers more, and he's still lifting heavier, right? Like, and then he's still making those gains. So I think as you start to peak in the gains area, you start to want to hit recovery.
Sure. But that's exactly why a lot of people ask me why linear. Like they'll be like, yeah, I've been lifting for like 4 or 5 years seriously, and I want a linear program. Like, brother, don't spend your money on me writing you a linear program. Because if, let's say you can lift 500 pounds, if you're working up to like 300 pounds on an average human frame, because all of us, very different body types, very different body weights, but in reality, all of our frames are pretty close to the same. Our central nervous systems can pretty much handle close to the same stuff. Right now, if Brian Shaw was here, it would be a little bit different, or if someone was very small was here, it'd be a little bit different, but for the most part here, right? Now, if I'm going in, my deadlift PR is 315, there's a certain amount of stress that's going on my body, right? So the next week I can probably hit 320, then 330, then 335, right? I can go back and keep taking bites. If Nick's pulling 675 for a single, the next week he is not coming back and pulling 685. Like, it's not going to happen. It's just, as the human body, it can't, right? So the recovery, you need to learn how to like undulate your program. Programming is massive. That's probably the number one thing for recovery, is not being stupid with your programming. Now, I will say, also, with programming, if someone writes you a program, if Joey writes you a program, and you go, well, I think Joey's pretty smart, but I think I should change this or change that, realize that you are no longer doing Joey's program, and when it doesn't work, it's not Joey's fault, right? So everything, you've had a lot of years of experience, all of you guys have spent a lot of time on the bar, beating yourself up, getting hurt, having injuries, making the wrong turns, right? So all you're trying to do is put that information out there as long as it's a credible person. So if you guys buy a program from a guy who actually has some credibility and has coached some decent people, follow the program, trust the system, right? Like, do not think you know better. So your programming is a massive thing inside of recovery. That is huge.
One thing I noticed, to double tap on what you said about me deadlifting 675 and say you deadlift 315, is coaching here, when I watch certain class members go through class, like you have stronger people like Stock, it'll take him a little bit longer to get through the strength, but he's squatting almost 600 pounds.
Right.
And then you have, say, one of the ladies or one of the newer guys, the younger guys that have only been doing this for a couple of months, and they fly through it.
Right.
They're used to the routine, but they fly through it because their 150 pound squat takes a lot less of a chunk out of what they have to offer today than doing reps with a 500 pound squat. And it's just scale. Like, 500 pounds is 500 pounds.
Yes.
100 pounds is 100 pounds, and they affect your body very differently.
And there's certain physiological responses. Like, if you literally just put, standing here, my heart rate and blood pressure is a certain place, right? If I put 200 pounds on my back, it spikes substantially. Without any movement, it'll spike. 500 pounds, it spikes substantially. At something like 800 pounds, the reason, literally, when you unrack it, you feel the world you start to pass out, right? It's not a pleasant feeling. It's because your body is going through so many physiological, sympathetic nervous system alarms are going off. Like, so to say that it doesn't have a different type of response and need a certain type of recovery from is unreasonable to a point. All right, so now similar to what we did at Alan Thrall's place, what I want to do is a rapid fire type of thing. So basically, the idea here is I'm going to say a certain type of recovery method, and then you guys are going to rate from 1 to 10 where you put it. But you can't use 7. And the reason why you can't use 7 is because everyone answers 7, right? Like, if you're kind of don't care, you say 7 because that's not being committed, right? But if you say 8, that means that's an 80%. You're getting a B on that test, right? 80% of your 1 rep maximum is pretty heavy. 60%, not nearly as committed, okay? So 1 through 10, but you cannot use 7, all right? Joey, ice.
8.
5.
3.
Foam rolling.
6.
8.
6.
Massage, Nick.
9.
10.
5.
Sleep, Billy.
10.
Nick.
10.
10.
Contrast showers, Joey. Or baths, contrasting hot to cold.
Not much experience. 3. I don't know.
I don't know really that well. 3.
2.
You guys can all say no experience. All right.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Dry needling, Nick.
No experience.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No experience.
We're coming back to that. Don't Ooh. Grasping technique, Nick.
I've only ever had it once, so not really any experience.
I had it once, so it was okay, but I deserve.
You need more experience before you can have a judgment.
Deserve more.
Never.
Grasping, never. Have you ever used KT tape or rock tape, Joey?
High school and
Where'd you rank its usefulness?
4.
Placebo.
Yeah.
So saying placebo, I think it works very well for the people it works for,
Right.
and I can elaborate that on a different.
Sure.
fire.
I used it to tape 2 fingers together.
Right.
Yeah, I would like to make a comment on the placebo at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cupping, like Michael Phelps.
Never had it.
Never had it.
Never had it.
Gonna try it.
I wrote nut.
Try it.
I did.
10.
Nut. Water intake for recovery, like hydration.
I'd probably keep it, like an 8.
Oh, 10 with sodium and all the electrolytes.
That's a 10, I think, for at any point.
Should have said 10.
Buffer.
8.
9.
3.
Meditation, visualization.
8.
10.
10.
Walks or rucks?
8.
8.
Walks 10.
Sauna.
Love that thing. 10.
If I'm cutting weight, 9.
I think 5.
Anything anyone else? You want to talk about placebo? Talk about
Yeah.
placebo.
Yeah, so I would say, I think the overlapping thing, like how I just talk to people is like, if it feels good and you like it, then do it. You know what I mean? Like there may not be like scientific evidence.
Heroin does not help me recover at all.
But you get them
But
gains.
if you like it and it felt
When it helps my sleep.
yeah, then I'm a fan of it. Like even if there's like you were saying a KT tape or whatever,
Right.
has a large placebo effect, it doesn't matter.
It's like mouthpieces.
Yeah.
Do they help?
With the KT tape, I actually think it's more like a cueing thing, like wearing a salt valve. I
Sure.
don't think it necessarily gives you the poundage
Yeah.
and everything, but I
Makes
definitely
sense.
think it tells your muscles to keep tight, and whether you
Sure.
realize it or not, it's cueing you.
Even if
to
it's
keep the-
focusing,
Yeah.
like someone touching your stomach for breaths.
But,
Like,
and it's maybe it's subconscious, but I
Sure.
definitely think, and honestly, I think you hit the nail on the head, man. If you think it works, then it's working. And that's
Yeah.
what, if it's what's going to get you in to lift those weights or run that extra mile, keep doing it.
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like some things aren't for everybody, like hot versus cold. That's personal preference, but you know, I'll say when I get out of an ice bath, I'm feeling like energized. I'm feeling good. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like I like it.
yeah,
Let's do it.
yeah. The ice bath for me is more for that. Like I know the science people are like, oh, whatever, right? But when I get out of an ice bath, I feel like bulletproof.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you could run through a wall. Like you just feel like you can take on the world. Your skin feels tight. You feel good.
Yeah.
So for me, it's working.
If I do contrast, I do ice bath and then like hot shower or jacuzzi. I don't just do like cold water or hot water.
Sure.
I don't feel like it's drastic enough to give me the feeling
Yeah.
or the effect I want. So if it's an ice bath with a hot shower or hot tub, then I'm all for it.
It's also good for a hangover.
That's what I did at Nationals. When we were in Vegas,
Yeah.
I went through the hotel, ransacked all the ice machines, filled up the bathtub, water, would do 3 minutes in the bath, get out, run upstairs, do 3 minutes in the hot tub, and just cycled that. And
Right.
then I felt great the next day.
Dry needling. You said worth it. I'm afraid of needles. Is it worth it for the needles? Like acupuncture. Anyone here do acupuncture?
I've tried it.
Is it worth it?
I did for allergies.
Sure.
And,
Did it help?
I didn't have any allergies, so yeah.
Hey.
I think it depends. Well, dry needling versus acupuncture, I'm sure there's plenty of research. I think it's more about, or do you subscribe to the scientific aspect or the spiritual aspect, and the holistic aspect? So I think they're kind of very similar, except how you justify what it does and all that stuff,
Sure.
right? So I prefer dry needling, and I think it's largely dependent on who you go to, and like whether or not they have skill. Same thing with massage, whether or not they're going to find the trigger points and actually be able to hit them. I had one experience that wasn't particularly great. It wasn't bad. It was okay.
The dry needling?
Yeah, with the dry needling. I had one, all this about dry needling. I've done acupuncture, maybe it was the person I was with. The dry needling, though, there was another time I've had a lot of lower back pain and hip pain, and they got into my lower back, and I was really scared about it, but it was really an interesting experience, especially coming from like a PTA perspective, where I had this knot in my back, and I felt it seize up once they applied the needle. It was like you seize up, and there was like a quivering, spasming, and then it just released like that.
So you had that real world, the cross ball.
And here's the great thing, right? So it was in my lower back. That loosened up, but also my psoas, so that hip flexor, right? So I had a huge problem with my right hip flexors, and then that loosened up that whole thing because they're all interconnected, right? So that loosened up, and it was a good day for me. The training for the next couple of weeks was good. Honestly, if I could do it more regularly, I would. I thought I liked who I went to. I liked how it worked. I would keep doing it again. Yeah.
Right on. That's something I'm gonna need to try if I
Yep.
can just get past it. Did it feel weird?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
was it-
No,
like, it
it's
wasn't-
very similar to if you
Because
ever
they go like to the bone, bro.
No, definitely not. If you're going to the bone, you probably want to go to someone
I'm a
else.
big baby.
But-
if I'm paying for those needles, I better.
It's actually like
I better walk away with scars.
like laying on a lacrosse ball on a heavy knot, right? You know that
Right,
feeling
yeah,
like
yeah,
you're
yeah.
just attacking that knot,
Yep.
except instead of just laying on it for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 50 minutes, just to kind of overstimulate it to get it to release, you're doing it within 30 seconds to 3 minutes, right? It almost hits it instantly. It doesn't. All that time that you would have spent doing that work, it would have done it like that, right? So,
You're
that-
kind of comfortable when you see like fishing a needle. And it's,
look, I don't
they're
know.
like bending. Yeah, it's like.
It's gotta bend.
Got any
I
signal?
don't have tattoos for a reason. Like,
I
terrified.
don't know.
Guys, I'm actually going to hopefully get some other people's opinion to include Olu if I can chase him down today. But thank you guys so much for doing this. The video will continue, and yeah. All right, guys, so I'm here with Olu and Alena, the smallest girl in the gym who has some of the most impressive lifts, like a 2-time body weight sandbag carry, like a 3-time body weight deadlift, and then Olu, who's one of the strongest dudes in the gym just in general. So your guys' recovery, I wanted to get a hold of both of you guys. We did that roundtable the other day, but I wanted to get your guys' opinion of what works best for you guys, since it's such a dichotomy of individuals here.
Ladies first.
Oh man.
Thank you, Olu. Okay, so for me, I try to keep it real basic. I like to eat a lot of food,
Yum.
healthy food,
Yum.
and I like to sleep a lot. So
You eat more food than I eat.
I do. If you guys were to come home with us after the gym, you would find that I eat a ton, as much food as I possibly can, honestly.
Yep.
Greens, protein, fat, you name it, I'm eating it. It's a lot about listening to my body, but I just think that healthy, as much homegrown food as you can possible, that's huge for me.
Yep.
And sleep.
Yeah.
I'm blessed. I get the opportunity to sleep at least 7 hours a night. So I feel like that majorly helps my recovery. I'm very grateful. I know a lot of people can't sleep.
Yeah.
So that means a lot to me, and I really do think that that's something that sets me apart as far as recovery goes.
Absolutely.
I got 2 more things, but we're gonna let Olu take.
Oh man.
I mean, so as for me, for recovery, I do things that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
So, like, stretching, just being on the foam roller, just rolling out, especially after my major lift, like after training, is one of the best time for me to like roll out.
Absolutely.
So, I think why I like it is that it challenges me to do it, because once I get back from the gym, I'm tired.
Yeah.
But that discipline for me to do it, I enjoy that. So for me, is you roll out and you get enough sleep, and food is very important. And taking walks.
Yep.
Especially for a big guy like me,
Yeah.
having that kind of weight, it compresses my back a lot and put a lot of pressure on my back.
Yeah.
So most of the time, because I literally like sit on the decks most of the time, then I
Yeah.
come into the gym and I squat and I deadlift, that like compresses my back a lot. So after my work days when I'm not training, I just stroll. It's not necessarily more kind of a, what am I gonna call it, like a workout.
Yeah, it's
kind
like
of
active
walk.
recovery.
Just like, just taking a walk around the
Yeah.
neighborhood for like 25 minutes.
Thinking about
Just
the
to
day.
Feel,
Yeah.
just to feel good.
Yeah.
And that's, when you get your mind right, everything goes well. That's for me in terms of recovery.
Absolutely.
And other things, whatever. I don't know what you want to say, the other 2 stuff you want to talk about.
Well, one of them sounds like we're similar, because getting your head in the right place and feeling good in your body is something that I like to do. So whatever makes me feel like full of life. So if it's a beautiful scenery, like
Yeah.
you guys see, Brian and I take hikes, water and sun totally refuel my soul. What I listen to, if it's got freedom and life and just good stuff, I like to try to fill myself up with good things I see,
Yep.
things I hear, things I experience. If they're life-giving, I feel filled up. So that may not be something, that may be something different, but for me that makes a huge difference for my
Dude,
recovery.
negativity hurts recovery.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, so try to keep all toxin,
Yeah.
toxic stuff
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
So that was one big thing.
And one other thing, a lot of people on the internet nowadays, talk down on stretching.
Yeah.
And, bring all this scientific stuff into it. And, they try to confuse a lot of people, constipate them with all the information. For me, I stretch a lot. For a big guy, if you're not flexible, if you're too tight and rigid for you to move heavy weight, it won't be good for you. It will be unhealthy. So
Yep.
it's not necessarily stretching will make you strong. It's just gonna make you efficient in your lift.
Yeah.
So I treat, I was discussing with you the other day, I treat stretching recovery as a workout.
Yes.
So to make it fun, you can just be like, oh, I'm gonna do this 3 sets of 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Just do it, enjoy yourself. And a lot of people will be like, oh, I don't have time. So if you can have time to turn on the TV at night,
Yeah.
Yeah.
to watch NBA, to watch NFL, I think while you're watching it, you can just, be there,
Become better while you're doing it.
It's a constant, deliberate effort.
Yep.
For you, and recovery will make you efficient. It's not necessarily you gain 100 pounds in your lift, but
Right.
you feel good about your lifting, and that would keep you healthy.
Absolutely.
Keep injury away longer.
Well, I was just gonna say,
Which-
it's reflective lifting, right? So it's always best if you don't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So if you can
Typically lifting goes like that.
prevent injury, all the more better. So if you can be reflective,
Mm-hmm.
take that time and be reflective upon, hey, for me, honestly, guys, 3 days a week is my max. I give it all the days I'm here. Some days I can do a 4th day. If I'm training for a competition, I do a 4th day. But I try, it's about 3.5. But I start to feel like my biceps breaking down, my lower back. Like I'm very attentive to like even just now, I like dropped my percentage down and did a set just at lowered my volume. Like I listen to my body. You don't want to let your pride or your ego get in the way.
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's just about being reflective what your body needs that day.
Yeah.
And one other thing that is the number one of is sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep is so important. Sleep is so important, especially on days or when I'm prepping for a comp. I get very selfish.
Yeah.
Like I don't, waste my time maybe like hanging out. Especially on Sundays when I know I'm not working or doing something like that. I just want to be at home and get that enough rest. Because if I don't get it, especially on Sundays, if I'm not sleeping well or getting enough rest on that Sunday, it's gonna mess up my whole week.
Yes, that's true.
Right. So
100% true.
So
Rest matters.
Sunday, especially on Sunday when if you're not working on Sundays, just relax.
Yeah.
Take a cold shower, you can go to the pool. Remember something that makes you feel good. I don't know, something positive though. So something that makes you feel good. Walks, cold shower, stretch, whatever. Eat good food, eat properly, and that works for me. And it's been keeping me healthy. I wish I knew stuff like this when I started lifting. I think I'll be more healthy.
Yeah.
It's like an investment back into yourself. It doesn't always feel like it, but it definitely is.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Yay. Yay. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys, so the recovery roundtable is finally done. This has been like 2 weeks in recording it, trying to get all the people together and all the players. So, I hope you guys walked away with a little bit of knowledge about stuff that all of these guys do. Hopefully there's some stuff that you can apply, or at least some stuff that you learned. So, guys, I thank you so much for staying with me and just checking out. Hopefully you like this video. Hopefully if there's other topics that you'd like to see a bunch of people's kind of opinion on, just let me know in the comment section down below and I'll try to make it happen. So, guys, I thank you so much for staying with me. I know it was a long video, but hopefully it was educational. I thank you so much. I will catch up with you later in the week. Until I do go out to something amazing, guys, keep working hard, people. Be nice to each other. I'll see you then.